All right, man. Once again, man, I'm joined by my good friend Ryan. Um, Ryan has a book, and he's turned his book into a movie, and he's here to talk about his movie. First of all, Ryan, how you doing? How you doing this evening, man?
Thank God. Thank God. We're doing great. How are you? Hanging in there,
Hey,
right?
yeah, I'm thankful, man. I'm doing okay. Listen, well, first, let me ask you why did you want to make this movie?
Well, that's a great question because it's really part of a a lifelong journey for me. A question, that I need to know the answer. That I need to know the answer to, and which I think all of us we have the same question. And
What
basically,
is the question?
the question is, we see that there are many religions in the world, right? There are many faiths, but there has to be some. What is the identity of humanity? Spiritually, there's got to be one identity. What is it? Okay,
Right.
so I in my own life was not always religious, right? And I rediscovered the my tradition. I wasn't, like, let's say, totally brought up in a traditional household.
Okay.
But then I became immersed in the community, the traditional community. And of course, the roots, then I discovered that my roots are very deep generationally in this community, right?
Right.
In tradition. So I didn't realize, okay, so in any event, I went, I wanted to understand this question from the source, from the traditional sources. What is the answer to this question? How do the rabbis answer this question? Okay, how do they look at it?
Right. Right.
And, in the course of time, that led me to, through different projects, trying to understand various aspects of it. This whole series here I wrote, okay, it's in English, based on the research done here in Hebrew, which substantiates the approach, which is really an underlying framework of the which this movie is about. Do you
Okay.
understand? In other words,
Okay.
okay, let me explain that. Abraham, okay, when he was in the Academy of Shem, what was he learning? The question goes then, what was he learning then? Okay, what did they teach in the Academy of Shem? Okay, so this answers that question because it relates the 10 laws, right, to the 7/8 laws that were applicable in his generation, and outlines exactly what applied universally to mankind, as opposed to those things which are specifically applied to the Jewish people. So, in any event, I wanted to understand the question in a universal sense. What is How do we understand the context of the law as it applies, right,
Right.
to men? So that was the what was there. But then the question is, what is the identity? Okay, what is the universal identity? And that, of course, is our film.
Okay.
You
Got it.
understand?
Yeah. No,
Right.
I get it.
Right. But so there's certain things that I allude to which refer to these volumes here and framework in the actual film.
I get it. I see what you're saying. So
So I think the thing which I wanted to talk about, I guess, is the film, right? And that's
right.
what.
That's what I want to ask you. But so basically, what you just told us, though you have factual things that you base this movie on, basically.
Right, right.
Okay.
Now,
Okay.
now,
Now my question is, I just want to ask you this question. In this movie, what character in this movie will will be with us when we walk away from this movie? What character
uh,
do?
characters that are going to be with you. I mean, there's so many characters. I mean,
if you could just give us one character that you think are gonna stay on our mind, who would it be in this movie?
Well, in the course of, again, there are two trilogies. Okay.
Okay.
And in the course of that time, not every character is present because they haven't yet been born or they have died.
I get what you're saying.
But develop characters over several segments, and some of them go from beginning to end.
Okay.
So of those characters, some of the most interesting ones are, of course, Abraham. Okay. But besides Abraham, we understand that. In a certain sense, he's not the most interesting character.
That's what I want to know. Who's the most interesting character in your opinion?
I mean, they're very interesting characters. Okay. But I think Eliezer is really, it's very much about Eliezer.
That's what I got. That's what I got scrolling at the bottom. Eliezer them. I'm gonna name my next music project Eliezer them. I learned about Eliezer through Run a couple of years ago, and this guy. So speak to us about Eliezer.
Right. Okay, so I mean, really, the drama is it becomes a drama around him, like a personal drama.
Okay.
Because, so he is a person of color, and his father is Nimrod. Now, Nimrod is nemesis. The nemesis.
That's the giant, right? He's the giant, right?
What's that? No.
Is that the giant? Okay. Oh, that's right.
Right. You could also portray him as a person of color, but I would say, lighter skinned. When I looked at, there's like 20 to 25 people, characters that you could cast in some sense as persons of color, and then other ethnicities. So this is.
So when you what you mean? Hold up, slow down, because I got like a different I got like different people that watch this, and I just want people to understand what exactly you mean when you say people of color.
Well, when I'm thinking of people who are clearly,
black folks. See, yeah, this is my boy Ron. He don't want to say that, but I get it. I get what you mean.
I get it from you. I know I can say it.
Yeah, that's my boy Ron, man. Yeah.
But then there are others who are, let's say, for example, Pharaoh, right?
Pharaoh,
right?
Yeah.
So he is a character who could be portrayed of. You make him a person of color, but you don't want to make him too dark.
Okay. He like light skin.
What's that?
I say he would be considered a light skinned black person. Like,
sure.
Yeah, probably has some good hair and stuff. I get what you're saying.
Right. So there are a lot of characters like that. And for example, his daughter is Hagar. And Hagar is Avram's second wife. So she emerges as a character who's also of color, right?
But she's light.
And her children from Avram are of color. Did you understand?
Yeah. Yeah, I get it.
Right.
This is interesting. This is very interesting.
We're telling the story authentically. Okay? Do you understand? It could be portrayed from an ethnocentric point of view and distorting what's really there. Whereas here, we're bringing everybody who actually was in the story, with their ethnicity into the picture as it actually is. And that means you're bringing the entire world into this.
Stop.
Yeah.
Basically, what he's just said was his story has no cut on it. He's telling it exactly the way it was, not taking anything out of it. And what I think that does it. Go ahead.
Right. Authenticity is essential in this account, and I think we discussed this before, whether it's possible to be involved in the production of it in some capacity to make sure the story is kosher. Okay, it's being told in an authentic way. Kosher means acceptable. From it would be an acceptable rendition of the account.
So is it possible to be kosher and authentic?
No, it's the same thing. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Acceptable means that we're telling it, in a manner which has integrity, which is true.
So everything kosher is the real deal.
Right. Right.
Okay.
Right.
I'm kosher as fuck. I'm kosher as hell. Then I like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, the other part of that is that we want to take into account the there are other people who own this story, right? There are Muslims and they're Christians, and the interesting take on this is that there are also Hindus. Now, I'm not sure you caught that in the last segment of the last trilogy.
No, I did.
Right.
But I think it's up to the different people to tell the story according to.
True, but I think we should do it with consultation from these communities.
I think that's beautiful that you want to do that in a time where people just don't care.
Right. No, but I think we can do it in a way that everyone just say, I own that story. I'm part of it.
That would be dope. That would be dope.
You could tell the story and deliver it and say, to the Torah community, to my community, and they say, that's right. It's hey, I didn't realize that. They're going to say, yeah, but the way it's true.
This has never been done. I'll tell you that.
Okay. Of course it's never been done because we are doing it.
That's right. That's right. So I got a question about this. Abraham.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah.
I want to know a little about him though. I want to know. I know you say the story. Eliezer probably stole the show, but speak to me about Abraham a little bit.
Abraham, his name is changed. Okay, this is something which is like essential to understand the series. I call it the Abraham film series, AFS.
Okay.
The first trilogy is about Avram. His name is originally Avram, and the power of that name is the potential that he had to actually bring the redemption. God had in mind for humanity and still has in mind for humanity himself personally, in other words, to bring it about. And we see the trilogy, the first trilogy, the Avram trilogy, as a failed redemptive attempt.
Right.
Okay. So this is the first thing I was looking at. I heard about a certain opinion of an authority, a rabbinical authority, about telling it's in something that it's in his commentary, okay, on the Haggadah, which is something that we read during Passover. Okay, we're talking about the Exodus.
Right.
That's what Passover holiday is about. But in any event, so what he was in that thing, there's a reference to Avram, and he brings out this point, which is really what the whole thing, the whole segment, I started with the last segment of the first trilogy was what I had in mind for this. That's what I started. This is going to tell my story. That was the point I wanted to make. And it all had to do with the opinion of this rabbi. Okay? I was just telling it over to tell what he was trying to say. You understand?
Yeah, I get it.
Right? And he was telling us that Avram failed. He made a mistake. And it's Eliezer that catches him. And of the thing. And it was the end of that the redemptive. It didn't work. What was possible I'm using the word Avram, the name Avram versus Abraham, because his
Right.
name after that changes. God gives him a new name because whatever was signified by by his name Avram, he could no longer. He had failed, right?
That's
To
it.
give him
Okay. I get. Okay, that's interesting. What? So what was the new name?
Abraham,
Oh, okay. That's how he became Abraham. Okay.
right?
So
So
that's the redemption aspect of it. Okay. Okay.
right,
Okay.
and in the second trilogy, we're really talking about laying the groundwork, the framework, for the redemption of humanity as a whole, over a
This is
generational uh, time frame. Okay,
this is
in other, in other words, it was possible for Abram to do it himself, but if he couldn't do it himself, at least he would set the framework, the foundation for the ultimate redemption.
right.
Okay, and so in that context, so there, when I was looking at that message, I was looking again. I really started with the final segment of the second trilogy as well. That was, I thought, oh, that's my film. That's the story I want to tell.
Right. I get what
Right?
you said.
But it then turned into other segments because you can't tell the whole story. And,
I think this is pretty good, man.
right, in one film. So, but anyway, but what is that? And this is important to go. I mean, to go there and look at that, and you get the picture, right? What is the purpose? What is that God has in mind for humanity, right? So you see it there. In other words, what is the redemption about? What's society going to be about?
Let me ask you something.
Right.
When as you're writing this movie, are you thinking at the time how much that it can help people in today's time?
Yeah. I mean, I'm thinking about that, of course. I have that in mind. Everybody is going to learn something else from this, something different, and they're going to elaborate, illuminate the idea. They're going to take something away from it. So obviously, I mean, I'm kind of like trying to get the whole world involved in this idea. I'm trying to say
This is great. Let me ask you a question. As far as like the act, like in your mind, the way you see like the actors that are gonna play these roles, it's gonna be quite a few black people in this. Um, do you feel like you're gonna get any backlash from that? Like as far as because
no. It's as long as it's done authentically, nobody's going to care. They're going to say that's really interesting.
okay,
They think of it. They'll understand.
why
Whoa,
okay why hasn't it been told already this way?
because you know what the world's like, and it. I mean, that's a complicated.
How afraid are you to make how afraid of you
What?
how afraid are you to make such a movie then?
Well, no. Listen. I've been doing this for years and years and years, working on this idea. Okay, so
I know.
those things where I scared as anything, to speak my.
That's right. This is my
Right.
brother. That's why you my brother. That's why. Hey, so I don't want to give too much. I think this is good. But I do want to offer you the opportunity to, if you could speak 5 minutes about this movie from the beginning to your end. I give you 5 minutes to sum it up for us, and it's like this would be like when you do your thing when the movies first come on. I don't know, but you're doing it right here, right now. I want you to sell your movie.
Okay. Well, okay. So we start out with Avram, who is really a refugee. He's a refugee because he's hiding in the academy of Shem in Jerusalem. Okay, Shem is the son of Noah, and Noah is still alive. People don't realize that he's still alive at the time of Noah. I mean, at the time of Abraham in his generation, and in fact, he is his mentor. In other words, Abraham looked to Noah, and he modeled himself after Noah. Okay, he knew him personally, and so that is the beginning. We see in the Academy of Shem, Shem, the son of Noah, bringing in Abraham, because now he's in trouble. He's got himself in trouble, into the office, right, for a talk. Why? Because Avram is then called Avram. He wants to leave. He wants to leave the academy and spread the truth throughout the world. Okay, and they say they put him. They put some sense into him, telling him, "Look, you can't do that, because if you walk out of this jurisdiction, Nimrod, okay, remember Nimrod,
Yeah.
okay, is going to have your head. You're going to be toast.
Nimrod gonna cook you."
Yeah, something like that, right? And why? And then we get the story. We get the context. There has been a world war, okay, and Nimrod has conquered the world. Okay. Okay, he is the world emperor.
Nimrod, bad boy. I would like to play Nimrod in the movie, man. Nimrod, yeah. Bad boy.
Well, that's probably not going to be up to you.
No, I know that. I definitely would like to play Eliezer. I think Eliezer is a great man. But anyway, I appreciate you coming on and doing this, man. And we can't wait to see this movie. And is the book available, or like, what are you doing with the book?
Stuff is like, it's not directly on the story. This is like a scholarly work, which is how do I say, which is substantiating the approach from a scholarly perspective. I mean, some of the ideas on which it's founded. Okay, it's a completely, but this is the substance. In other words, these books have to do, what did they do in the Academy of Shem? That's the way you can understand it. They were learning what was the law, the status of the law that they were learning at that time. So that's kind of what that's concerned.
Okay. All right, y'all. So y'all just look out for it, man. Hey, man, you did a great job here, man, and we're gonna keep going. And I can't wait. It's a great story. I like. It's kind of funny too. It's dope. You're gonna laugh, cry. I think. Of course, I read this. I read it.
Yeah, there's a lot of situational comedy in it.
If it's interesting enough to make me want to keep.
It's not only that. Sci-fi. Did you catch that or not?
Say it again. I'm sorry.
Sci-fi, science fiction.
Oh yeah. Hey, but what I want to say is,
what I'm trying to say about that's authentic. Do you understand?
I get it.
What an epic story this is.
I get, but no, it's the way you put it together though. It's clever,
Right.
Usually geniuses don't really know their work, but man, you did a great job here. We can't wait to get it out. I think, you know what I think? I think we should do one of these and break down each trilogy.
That's the way to do it. You can't do it all at once. It's like an introduction.
Right. So that's what we'll do. So we'll see you guys next time. And thanks once again, Ron.
Okay.